Hello everyone, welcome to Conversations That Inspire with your host Kim Castellano. Today's show is really exciting. I have my co-host Keith Oakley with me, and today we're talking with Coffee with the Vets. We spent today at George's Coffee Shop, and we were talking all day long with veterans from every war almost. Okay, and we're actually going to spend some time with Keith and we're going to interview them. So stay with us for our first guest of Conversations That Inspire and Coffee with the Vets. So with our first guest, and our first guest is Joe Tasselino. I said it right.
Right.
Yeah, so Joe, thank you so much for coming on the show.
You're welcome.
Today we're talking about Coffee with the Vets, and we know that Keith thought of you, right? Our co-host
Yep.
Keith is with us, so we're going to just tell us a little bit about yourself. Give us a little bit of picture about who Joe is, because those are watching. You know, you were a long-time veteran.
Long time ago, yeah, sure. My name is Joe Tasselino. I've been a Clifton resident all my life. I moved away a couple months, 2 times, but I always came back to Clifton. I love this town, and I joined the Marine Corps in 1968. I left high school and I joined the Marine Corps when I turned, just before I turned 18. And went down to Parris Island, South Carolina. And got off the bus, listened to the drill instructor, and the first thing I said was, "What am I doing here?" I said, but I come from a family of veterans. My father was the oldest of 5 brothers, and he had children at the time, not me at the time, it was too early. He couldn't enlist, so he went into the National Guard. My 4 uncles on my brother's side and 1 uncle on my mother's side all entered the military during World War II. 3 were in the Army in Europe. 1 was a Marine in the South Pacific, and the other one was a Seabee in the South Pacific. So growing up, I had the influence of all my uncles, my father. It was very enlightening as a young child to listen to the actions that these gentlemen went through.
So would you say that they inspired you to enlist? Because you didn't get drafted, you enlisted.
I had no idea back at the time that I was going to enlist and join any service, because World War II was over, and then Korean War started, and my brother is a Korean War vet Marine, and I saw all him and his friends, all the Marines, coming up to our house, and it was an impressive thing on a young child. And I went to high school. I went through my school years. I went into high school, and Vietnam War was really involving 1967 into 68, and I just saw it was my
It was your opportunity.
my opportunity.
Yeah.
Well, it was something I should do for my country. After growing up with all my uncles and family members in the service, I says, okay, it's my turn now, you know. And I joined the Marine Corps in 1968. Went down to Parris Island, or Paradise Island as they say, and I became a Marine.
So what was it like training? Like, did they train you first before you went out there, or you just went right out there?
No. Anybody knows, especially a Marine, knows that Parris Island is not a rose garden. You know, so the training was tough. It's tough for a reason, because you're going to be going to war, so the training was rough.
What was it like those first days of training?
Your worst nightmares. That's all I could say. It was tough. They were on you. They were hard on you. They break you down and they build you up to the person they want you to be. And then when you get through all your training, they send you off to war. And that's they sent me off to Vietnam, and I did a year there. Army, Navy, Air Force. They spent 12 months there. For some reason, they want the Marines to spend 13 months there.
Okay.
Well, I was at the end of my 12th month going into my 13th month when I was wounded. And I spent a couple of weeks in the hospital in Vietnam and then in Japan. And then I was flown home.
What was that like coming home?
Cold. Because they had given me the jungle utilities, the tropical clothes for tropical weather and the heat and the humidity. And we flew in a C-141. That was just a regular military plane. It's not like the commercial planes with the insulation in the walls.
So you really were cold. Like
I was freezing.
That's what you can remember. Coming home, I was cold.
And on top of that, they flew over the Pacific and we landed in Alaska.
Oh my goodness.
And they said that we're going to refuel the plane. And if you guys want to get out and go to the small terminal and call home. When they opened the door of the plane, and all we felt was the whoosh, all the cold air coming in. You look out the little window that we had, and it was snow on the ground. And I said, no, I think I'll stay in the plane. And then they flew me from there to Andrews Air Force Base, and then up to LaGuardia Airport.
So you were from Clifton?
Right.
So you came home to Clifton?
Right.
So when you came home from the war, you came to Clifton, New Jersey?
Right. When I got to the hospital in New York, doctors looked me over and said, yeah, you're doing pretty good. You want to go home for Christmas? And I said, yeah, sure. And I went home for a couple days, Christmas time, and then back to the hospital. So, and it was good.
And what Joe was forgetting to say is that he was awarded the Purple Heart for what he did in Vietnam. And I think that's something very, very special.
So you earned the Purple Heart.
Yeah, well, everybody that gets wounded over there in combat gets the Purple Heart. Some people call it the slow movers badge because you're not fast enough to get out of the way, but it's Purple Heart. Yeah.
So that Purple Heart that we have in front of the library, is that for the
That's
those
for all the
wounded?
Purple Heart recipients, right?
Oh,
Yeah,
interesting. Okay, so now I connect that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what are you doing today?
Well, I came home and I did low, easy stuff,
Civilian stuff.
civilian stuff, and then I had an opportunity to join the Clifton Police Department.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Okay, so I'm learning
I
something.
joined the Clifton Police Department, and I spent 29 years there.
Wow, in the Clifton Police Department.
And I've been retired 14 years, 15 years, somewhere around there.
Wow,
So,
I didn't know that.
Yep. And I think my military career helped me with the police department.
Your character built you up
Right.
for
Discipline,
that time.
respect.
Yep. hmm
You know, that's.
So you can see how that training was just,
Oh, yeah.
it was put to use through the police department. And what about, are you a part of any American Legions or?
Yeah, I'm a life member of 7165 up Valley Road in Clifton. I'm not too active there. I had a few medical problems that kept me away, but I'm still a member there. Well, one of the things I'm proud of now is that I'm one of the committee members on the Clifton Veterans Avenue of Flags. When I started, John Beagle was running it with Keith, and I got, I don't want to say Shanghai. They asked me.
You got weaseled in.
They asked me to come down. They wanted to talk to me, and John says, "I'm getting old. I can't move around as much as I can now, and I need some help with the flags and doing some stuff." I said, "Okay, I'll do it." I've got to mention that when I was a police officer, I saw John in City Hall in the lobby. He was carrying all these papers, and I said, "What are you doing now?" type of thing. He said, get on his case. He says, "We're starting this thing, Clifton Avenue of Flags. And we want to get all veterans flags." I says, "Oh, really? That sounds great." I says, "How do I get it?" And he handed me the form, and he says, "Here, fill this out." And I looked, oh, okay, cost some money. So I paid him, I gave him the form. I found out, checking through the books, I was number 10 on the flags.
Oh, wow, you
So-
was the first. All right, so we're going to move on to some more guests.
Yeah.
We want you to stick around, okay?
Thank
hang
you,
out.
Joe.
Okay.
Thank you so much for coming and
Thank
talking
you.
and sharing. That was a wonderful story. I learned a lot.
Well, I can
Thank you.
vouch for that, what Joe does, because
Yeah.
we wouldn't have the flags without him. We wouldn't.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sure. I've been a Clifton resident for almost 6 years now, and your neighbor.
Yes.
I live right on Mahar Avenue, right off Clifton Avenue. I'm 28 years old. I have 2 kids. I have a 4-year-old son, a 2-year-old daughter, and I've been married for almost 10 years now. Yeah. So I enlisted in the Marine Corps right after high school, back in 2012. I served for 4 years. I primarily worked out of Camp Lejeune, deployed from there, came home in 2016. I tried school out for a little bit, worked in the industry, and then it just wasn't it for me, and decided to join the Clifton Fire Department.
That's a good decision. Did you ever think that you'd be on the fire department?
No. When I was in high school, I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do. I've always found a sense of purpose in serving. Always interested in the military. I just didn't know which branch. And what intrigued me about the Marine Corps at first was right on Clifton Avenue. I don't know if you've ever seen it. They had a billboard.
Recruiting station, yeah.
The few of the proud Marines.
Yeah, they still have a station. They're on
Yeah.
Van Houten Ave now.
Right on Van Houten, yeah.
Yep. Yeah, it used to be right on Colfax Avenue.
Yep, right across from high school, yeah.
So you saw that so did you go to Clifton High School or anything?
No, I went to Tech, Passaic Tech.
Okay. Oh, okay. So you had a desire to
Join.
enlist and join.
I just didn't know which branch.
Right.
I saw that billboard, and the recruiting office was right around the corner at Colfax Avenue. Visited, and when I saw their uniforms, their demeanor, I was intrigued right away.
Right.
And
that was it.
That was it.
When you were deployed, where were you?
I did one deployment into Afghanistan,
Against
the South Helmand province. Yeah.
What was it like joining, right, enlisting, and then what was it like leaving home, like your first weeks of leaving home? What was that like?
It was tough because me personally, I've never been camping. I've never been on hikes, and nor had the discipline that the Marine Corps instilled in me. So it was completely new to me.
Yeah.
It was tough, but eventually I just got used to it. And
So would you say it kind of prepared you in different ways that you never would have gotten that type of training and skills just being home? Because I grew up camping, so I know how to cut down things, but that was just what we did. But so what was it like in the training? Was that brutal?
Oh, yeah.
Hard?
absolutely,
Yeah. Everybody giggles when they say that.
Yeah, we could.
So what I don't know, what other question? So are you a part of any American
American Legion or
legions or
VFW or anything.
VFWs or anything? Nothing?
No.
So
I-
how do you stay connected with some of the people that you've served with?
just Facebook. That's
The
primarily how I
social media?
That's it.
And
Yeah.
everyone's all over the place, I'm told, right?
Yeah, the closest one, the closest person whom I've served with is all the way in Yonkers.
Okay.
So not too far,
It's
but
not bad, yeah.
and all the other ones are either in North Carolina or some even in Texas. So Facebook's the only way for us to still
To
communicate.
stay communicated.
What do you do in the fire department? Do you have a specific task, or are you just a regular fireman?
Right now, I'm assigned to the truck on Brighton Road, Station 5. I've been there since July. I've been in the department for about a year now. So I'm still learning the trade.
Yeah.
I love it.
Good.
Was there any training that you got for fire department?
What do you mean?
So, when you become a fireman, do you go away for more training?
Yes. So I went to Morris County Public Safety Academy for 3 months.
Okay, so they train you there.
Yes. Did that, and then after that I did EMT training.
Okay. So you're still getting skills.
Yes, I'm still learning. I'm still a probie.
It's called a probie?
Yeah, in my first year.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
It's called a probie. Nice.
It's just like the military.
Yeah, so I mean you're gonna be so we're talking today about like how can we help you? How can we help the younger veterans coming home okay, you got your job, and what other services that would be beneficial for veterans, people coming home from? If you say there could be one great thing that I wish that we did have for us, what would that kind of be? I mean, that's a fully loaded question.
When I got out in 2016, it was a little hard because I had to transition and adjust to the civilian world. So in the Marine Corps, I had the barracks, I had a chow hall, well, the cafeteria, everything was given to me. I had a uniform. Then when I left, I had to worry about insurance, what to eat, where to sleep.
Right, so it was like, oh wait, hold on, I don't have to worry about this stuff. Now all of a sudden, how do I do this?
Right. The VA helped me out with my first home. They've also, with health insurance, they've also, there's a lot of things that the VA has given me.
Right.
In terms of what other services?
What other services? I mean, so now so some of these men, they're all connected, right? So there are some benefits of being members of the Veteran of Wars and stuff like that, right? Discounts.
Right.
But there's this oneness, right?
Plus, if you need help, they're there to help you, and maybe you need something you didn't know you could get. They'll help you fill out paperwork and do all of that too.
Right. There's other.
So it is a good idea if you want to, of course, to join one of those organizations.
Yeah, I'd be interested.
And they have camaraderie also, like in Clifton 7165 on Valley Road. I mean, they have a bar there. They have play pool. You can be with other guys and stuff. So.
Right. Yeah, that's kind of like we're thinking about. Is like how do we connect the two? You know.
Because I know what we with the flags and all the veterans and everything. They love getting together with each other. They kid each other, but it's only kidding.
Like
but
today,
I
we
think
had
it's
the
good for
coffee.
you as a veteran to maybe be with other veterans too.
Yeah, just so that because there's things about being a vet that you wouldn't tell me and you wouldn't tell somebody else, but you guys together, like there's that connectiveness. And I know that the older veterans, when they came home, the whole city was enlisted, right? So when they came home, they all hung out together.
Okay.
Where's the veterans in Clifton?
Yeah, the only other veterans I'm familiar with is the ones I work with. But,
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Otherwise, so there's that missing gap of support. Not that you're in need, okay, but we're all in need of getting together and having something in common. So that when that time comes that you do have a need, you're like, hey, by the way, do you know how I can get this help? And then someone knows. But if you're not in that, we're missing that. One younger veteran I spoke to today over coffee with vets here at George's Coffee Shop, he said an app for the phone, if they can connect with an app on the phone. I don't know if they have that, but he said that would be great. And he threw out some really good ideas, like the veterans post to have events that are geared toward people like you with young children, maybe on a Sunday, doing football with wings, okay? But having the family there. It's a family. You're not there to hang out, but you want to be with your wife, you want to be with your kids, and you also got a job. So it's kind of like, how much time do you have? So if you include it with my family, then I can maybe be there.
Absolutely, yeah. That'd be interesting.
Right?
Yeah.
So I think that's what I learned today, having these conversations and bringing everybody over coffee. Clifton doesn't really have that. You have to go outside of Clifton.
Yeah, you have to search for the information.
Search for the information outside. That's what I learned today. So that's what I'm saying, having these conversations, but seeing like, here you served, you're still serving, right? You have a job now in Clifton, you're still learning. You're still going to be training. Like, I believe that when you sign up for this kind of first responder stuff, you're in training for
Every
life.
shift we train.
You're never stop learning. You never know where you're going to end. I mean, we've talked to guys today that were on the force for 25 years, 29 years. They've done all kinds of stuff. So on top of that, do you have any other questions? I mean, because we really
No,
kind of got.
good.
Yeah,
I'm happy that you did get some services. That makes me really happy. The biggest complaint I hear from a lot of the veterans now. So
Right, you did get some.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which
So we're
is good.
neighbors.
Yeah.
well, you want
So when I
to-
remember, I think if I remember right, so when you came home, I can share something, right? So you were always running. Now that I'm remembering, so in the morning you wake up super early and you'd still be out there running. You'd run,
Oh, okay.
run. You would. You'd be jogging and running. And then you have kids, so of course that time changes. But and then you have a dog now, so it's like you came home, you're by yourself, and now you have this full-fledged family with a dog and a house,
Yep.
and a nice job. So I believe that, your path was really a good one.
Yeah, I got lucky.
Yeah. No, that's
you
what
deserve everything you got.
Yeah, you deserve everything that you have. You worked for it. It's not a freebie thing. You sacrificing, you went out there and you got your career that you needed. So a lot of the guys that I talked to today too, there's like, Kim, I knew what I signed up for. You knew what your career you wanted to go into. So you knew what you were getting into.
Yeah.
It was your career decision.
Yeah.
But yet you served our country. So, but thank you for
So
serving.
we thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, and thank you for coming on the show.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yes.
Today we're here with Bill Hartman, who is a displaced Clifton resident. We
Yeah.
say that to give him a hard time, but he grew up in Clifton, went to Clifton High School, and he joined the Navy, and he ended up doing 25 years in the Navy.
32.
32. Oh, I didn't even know what was that. 32 years in the Navy, and basically he was a communications director and did a lot of work with the Navy SEALs, which is a really important job. So now he's living outside of Chicago, right? Kinda? Right. But he comes back to Clifton all the time, and his best thing ever was he was our Grand Marshal of the Parade this
yes,
past
that's
year,
right.
which we were very honored to have him, and he brought a lot of people to that parade, let me tell you. He really did. So Bill, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? And
Sure. I'm Bill Hartman. I grew up here in Clifton. I lived on Union Ave. Graduated in 1977. I honestly owe a lot of thanks to the folks I graduated high school with, because everybody knows in that time frame we could have ultimately got caught up in the wrong crowds, and thank God that I hung around with great people from Clifton. I kind of knew I was going to go in the Navy. Actually, I was enlisted into the Marine Corps, and I went down to Passaic to do the final signing, and the Marine recruiter was out, or the Marine recruiter was out at lunch. And so the Navy guy said, "Hey, come on in, have a seat." And the rest was history, and then I was Great Lakes bound. But my dad was a Marine. I love working with the Marine Corps. They know how to do it right. The Marines always knew how to do it right. As a matter of fact, if we went to a communications brief, the Marines would figure out who the senior guy was going to be at that conference, and they'd go 2 up so that they could muscle their way into the conference. And that's how the Marines did business, and you got to love them for it. And I had a great time. I wish I'd do it all over again. Let's see, I went to Mayport, Florida. We went to Desert Storm. I spent about 189 days over in Desert Storm, came home, and then worked there, and then I got commissioned, which that was not even on the radar at all through my Navy career. And I had a CO that was adamant about me putting a package in for the officer program. And I did, and I kind of blew it off, and yeah, it came back. There was about 245, 230, something like that, applicants that applied for my designator, and they picked 12, and I got selected number 6. So.
Wow.
great.
And I had 19 years.
Well, you
in
had
when I
all
got
this,
selected.
right? So you had all that training, so it's valuable. I mean, when you're
Yeah.
training in those areas, you want
Yep,
the people
exactly.
who got the background, the training. I mean, it's you want to win.
Well,
Right.
the other thing too is I had 19 years in, which usually people retire at 20. So at that point, I didn't think I had a chance because, I had a little bit more time than most. And I was wrong. And, that's why I tell kids and whoever I talk to, don't lose hope. Things happen for a reason.
Right.
You start getting that quit mindset of, I can't, or I'm going to quit, they don't want me.
Next thing you know, you're chosen.
Yeah, and and I'm a firm believer in you surround yourself with good people, you're going to succeed.
Mm-hmm.
And and people fail. People
Right.
fail no matter what. And there's a lot of people that are beyond us, CEOs, actors. Everybody fails in life. What's important is how you rebound from that
Right.
failure. And
So
that's
how you
what's
get
important.
back up.
How you get back up.
Right,
and
you're all
how-
gonna get punched down.
That's
Right.
it.
But you gotta get back up.
Yeah.
I mean, it may take a day, it may take a week, it may take a year, but you gotta bounce back up and get
Yeah.
back up.
Yeah,
Makes you stronger.
One thing my kids, I hated hearing from many of them was I can't or I quit.
It's
And,
too much, I can't
yeah,
do this,
That would
you
send me to
know.
orbit.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's,
So today, what are you doing today?
so when I retired in Illinois, I got approached by the mayor of the town I live in, and he was the executive director of the park district. And up in Illinois, they have a board of commissioners that run the park districts.
Okay.
So it's not like ran by the mayor or anything, it's
Right.
run by a board of commissioners. So he said, you need to run. I said, well, nobody really knows me in town. He goes, you need to run. Well, I got elected. So was the president, vice president. I had some medical issues that I had to overcome. And now I'm on the state accreditation team. So we go around the state of Illinois accredited park districts all around the state.
Wow, interesting.
So, you know, it's just
You
got to
never
keep
know
charging.
where this path
Yeah.
is gonna lead you
Things happen
to.
for a reason. And,
Right.
you know, I'm a firm believer in
So
that.
are you a part of any veteran organizations?
You know, sad to say I'm not, and I should be. Like I said, I had some medical issues when I retired, and it kind of got, kind of extremely got worse. And I've actually had 10 hip surgeries. So, but I really should be involved, so.
Right, so you're in Illinois, right,
Right.
now. So, well, maybe you never know.
Never know.
You never know.
That's
You
it.
never
Could be
know.
the mayor one day.
Yeah, right? In Illinois. So, yeah, thanks for coming on the show
No,
and
I
sharing.
totally appreciate it. I mean, this
Yeah.
town has just been, I'm overwhelmed. You know, and I'm not usually lost for words, but I'll
Right.
tell you, this whole time has just been,
In Clifton?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Clifton,
so-
I mean, even though you move away, it seems, there's something about Clifton is close to your heart that you
Always.
probably take it with you.
Yeah, I mean, there's so
Right.
many memories here, it's just unbelievable.
Right.
So, and I really appreciate you, Keith, obviously, and your staff, and,
Thank
you know, it's just been, and it all
You had a good
started.
day today.
Yeah, it did.
You had a good
It
day.
all started with Meet Clifton, actually, is when this whole thing, so, just went one after another.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
So,
All right,
thank
so
you.
thanks.
Thank you, Bill. Always a pleasure.
So thanks for watching another episode of Conversations That Inspire with your host Kim Castellano and our co-host Keith Oakley. So Keith, we had a great show today.
We had a fantastic show. I learned a lot more than I knew, and I thought I knew everybody about everything. They were very forthcoming,
Yes.
and it was great to get the veterans together and see what they've done and what they're doing now.
Right.
Very, very great show.
Yeah, so now we can actually see how we can fill the gap. We had a lot of conversations over coffee earlier.
Yep.
So I've talked to some young veterans. They're now become police officers, firefighters, and just really how we can really help them now.
Right.
Right?
Yep.
We want to keep the veterans of America and the post and the legions here in Clifton thriving. I learned that they're 100 years old.
Yep.
So we're asking people to really, if you are a veteran and you're just coming home,
Right.
join the post,
Please
join
join,
a veteran,
right.
join. You may not need it now, right?
Right.
But we gave them some good ideas.
Yep.
We learned some good
and
ideas.
the camaraderie is
Yeah,
it's really
it's
good
going to be
about
great,
it too,
and we
you know?
understand that there's that gap, and the post understand that they need to make some more changes, right?
Yep.
So that they can make it more family friendly for them to join
Right, exactly.
and to be a part
and
of
I
it.
think we did that today.
I think we did, Keith.
Thank you, Kim.
we
It's
solved
always
the
a
biggest
pleasure.
problem.
There you go.
Thank you. Thanks for watching.